So the sessions continue. We started the conversation by kind of giving you an overview of three of the most popular business models that you can actually build as a woman in corporate America. Today, we are deep diving into one of these business models. This one is an interesting one for me. I feel like I have all sorts of emotions and feelings for this particular business model because it is my primary career business model, and that is the product based business model. As a woman in corporate America, you are a powerhouse. Your skills, expertise, and ambition should be making you money, not just your employer. This is why you picking the right business model is going to be a game changer in your side business journey. So today, I am going to be deep diving into the product based business model. I'll be giving you a blueprint to build a profitable and scalable business by leveraging what you already know. And by the end of this video, you will have clarity on what you need to launch and grow a product-based business with confidence. What I will be doing in today's video is breaking a few things down. We're going to be talking about what a product-based business is and why it works. We're also going to be taking a step-by-step blueprint launch approach that will take you from ideation into a profitable business without wasting too much money or your time. And then we're going to deep dive into how do you actually scale this business without overworking. By the end of this video, you will have clarity on, first of all, what type of business this is and whether or not this business will fit you. You will understand the real path to financial freedom beyond just your corporate job. So you will be walking away with actionable strategies to be able to build and scale up a profitable business with confidence. If you are serious about financial freedom, you cannot afford to waste another minute guessing. So hit the like button and subscribe so that the algorithm gods can bless us by helping us find more people who needs to hear this message. This is a small task for you, but for me, it really means everything. Hello everyone, welcome to Lessons Lived. I am Nandy. If you are new here, I am so glad you found this space. Our community is a community of ambitious women who take action. We don't just learn, we live our lessons. On this channel, we believe in leveraging our full-time jobs to build scalable side businesses because we know wealth shouldn't be an escape plan, it should be a power move. Your 9 to 5 is a launch pad, my darling, not a limitation. If you want to turn your career into capital, your expertise into income, and your business into a legacy, then we are the right place for you. Let's do this together. So we'll just jump right into the conversation at hand and talk about what a product-based business is. I'm sure if you've ever looked at your Hermes bag, that is a product-based business. A product-based business involves selling physical or digital products to customers. These products can be manufactured, they can be handmade, or they can be sourced from a supplier. A common example includes clothing brands, beauty products, home decor. For digital products, think about digital planners, subscription boxes. Unlike a service-based business, my favorite I will be sharing next, product-based business rely on inventory, production, and logistics in order to fulfill customer orders. I know those were a lot of really big words, right? Before we dig deeper into how you can build one, let's talk about what are the benefits of a product-based business. People tend to choose a corporate-based business because these types of business will offer you one, scalability. Once a product is developed, it can be sold repeatedly without any additional work for each unit. Depending on the type of product business you are building, it has the potential of offering you passive income. With an e-commerce setup, sales can occur 24/7. And if you're one of those people who's building a digital product, Let's say you have a downloadable digital planner or a online course. I mean, you're printing money whether or not you're there. Right? So that's the beauty of these types of business. Brand recognition is another benefit of this business. A strong product brand can gain loyalty with customers and drive revenue without you even trying. It takes time to get there, but it's great to see your brand pretty much speak for itself. Another benefit is the opportunity for automation. Many tasks, such as order fulfillment, marketing, customer service, can be automated and outsourced to someone else so that you are not actively sitting there and making sure those things are happening. Of course, this requires capital, but the option to be able to outsource the work is very unique and exciting for this particular product because, like we will talk about for the service based business, that is often not always possible. Now, let's talk about some winning strategies for a product based business. In order for you to build a successful product business, you need to follow certain key strategies. The first one, I feel like this one could apply for almost any business, is that you need to really start with a clear and specific audience. AKA, you need to have a strong niche. You need to focus on a specific audience so that you can solve their problem specifically. All right. This is important because you need to be able to know who you're speaking to so you can speak to them, right? You can be creating a product for men, for babies, for grandpas, for grandma, right? You need to find an audience and speak to them specifically. The second thing we are going to be doing is validating your idea before investing into it. As somebody who has started and failed so many businesses, let me tell you something. Validation is really important. I have a video coming up on how to validate a business, so be on the lookout for that. So there are many different things you can do to validate your business. You can use pre-orders, you can do small test batches, you can do some crowdfunding in order for you to be able to gauge demand. It's really important that you take a step back and not be too emotionally attached to your business because we are women who want to build a business. Often, it's not necessarily about the specific idea. What we are interested in is the allure of financial freedom, independence, and security. So sometimes one business may not work. If you vet your idea and it doesn't work, you leave it and you move on to something else, okay? Another winning strategy is to choose the right sales channel. You need to decide whether to sell through your own website, a marketplace like Amazon, social media, or you want to sell locally. It's really important to be very clear on what this channel is going to be. And sometimes you have to try multiple channels to really see where you're getting traction. Leveraging digital marketing. You need to use content marketing, influencers, partnership, and paid ads to grow your brand. This is something that even Nandy is just now really understanding and learning. Companies don't make money without marketing. You need to get your word out there. People need to know who you are. There's no way around it. So take the time to connect with people, to start creating content, building partnership, and yes, paid ads. Scaling through wholesales or retail partnerships. So you have to be able to expand your reach by getting your product into stores and different distribution channels, right? This is a tough one, but a skill you have to learn if you are going to embark in a product based business. You need to understand how to get your product into Sephora, into Sprouts, into CVS, into Walmart. I mean, all of that, not my expertise, but my God, you could build a whole channel just on how to get products into retail distribution channels. It's a mammoth, right? The challenges, the opportunity to make money, but to actually get in there, ooh, it's tough, right? And this is why when I talk about product based business, I make a distinction between a physical product and digital products, right? Digital products, lower cost of entry, higher competition. Physical product, higher cost of entry, but lower competition. So if you can do all of those things right, if you have the money to see it through, the expertise, and you get in there, you can make a pretty penny. You need to optimize your operation. Use automation tools and outsourcing to streamline fulfillment, inventory management, and customer support and service. This is going to be very important for your success, right? You need to be able to understand the magnitude of the business you are getting yourself into, right? Ideally, you will start small and then build from there, but I promise you, your ability to outsource, automate, delegate as quickly as possible is going to make the difference between whether or not you live to see the next year or your business is going to completely fall on its heels in the next few months. Now let's dig deeper and talk in detail about each one of these winning strategies. Step one, you need to identify your product niche, right? Every great business starts with a great idea. The best way to find a profitable product niche is by solving a problem. You need to identify the pain points in your industry or personal life that you can solve. So a lot of people create products around, hey, I used to have this gut health issue. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find a solution. So I started going into my kitchen and I mixed this herb, this thing, and that thing. Now I have this product. In the cosmetic industry, that's also a good thing, right? I used to have X, Y, and Z skin problem. I looked online, couldn't find anything. So they identified a gap in the market and then they started working on it slowly, came up with their own formula, or they worked with the formulation scientists who helped them come up with the formula, a solution for them. Boom. Now they've identified the market, they've solved the problem, and they're selling that problem to other people who have the same need. You need to leverage your skill set. I know you guys, I talk about this all the time, but it's true. You need to use your expertise to create something unique and valuable, right? Research trends, explore emerging trends on various platforms like Etsy, Amazon, Pinterest. Start looking at what's interesting out there that you can capitalize on. Then you want to test the demand. Use Google Trends, surveys. Google has a great survey system. Like you can use Google Forms to create a surveying system, send it to customers or potential customers, right? So use social media to gauge interest. So you use Google Form, create a survey, test it out on your social media platform, see how people respond, right? And based on their response, validate your ideas, right? That's the second thing you are going to do here. You want to validate your idea before investing too much into it. The last thing you want to do is to put time into something to produce it, and there's really no interest or need for it. So before you pour time, money into production, test your idea. I'm a big believer in pre-selling a product before you even have it. Offer pre-orders to see if people are willing to buy it. This will really help you understand whether or not people will buy what you're selling. Just put it out there. If you already have an audience, tell them, hey, I have X, Y, and Z product coming up. Pre-orders, you get 40% off. See who will buy it. And this is really an important concept, right? You want to create a minimal viable product. This is when you start with a small batch and test it with real customers so you can collect feedback. By collecting feedback, you get real meaningful feedback that would help you determine where to go next. Use social media, send out some polls, beta test to refine the product once you've collected that feedback. The third step you are going to take is choosing the right business model. There are different ways to structure a product-based business. What I'm sharing when I'm talking about a product and media and a service-based business, I'm talking about broad, huge categories of businesses you can build to start giving you direction and narrowing your focus. But once you've determined your broader category and you're like, yes, Nandy, a product-based business sounds like something this girly wants to do, now you really want to start honing it. Do you want to do e-commerce where you use Shopify, Etsy, Amazon, or your own website to sell your products directly online? Do you want to do drop shipping? So drop shipping, this is where you work with a supplier. You're not holding inventory. You're selecting certain products that supplier is making, and you're pretty much creating a front-facing online window store. The customer orders through you, but it's automatically sent to the supplier who ships it directly from their facility to your customer. This sounds really exciting. It sounds like the holy grail of business. But let me tell you something, it's easier said than done. Drop shipping was highly popularized around the year 2010, 2011, almost right to around 2015. But the challenge here is the barrier to entry was so stinking low that all of eBay, Amazon was flooded with this drop shipping nonsense, cheap quality businesses that some 15-year-old kid from their bedrooms, right, was going over to China and doing the drop shipping model. You can see I don't have a lot of love lost for drop shipping, but anyhow, but some people make it work, and this person could be you. Maybe you can find a novel way or an interesting product where this can work. So don't let my bias, right, rule you out of this particular model because it does work for some people. Another model you can choose is print on demand. This is where you create customized printed product and it's created as the orders come in. So think of Amazon KDP. People who make t-shirts, they will create the design, create a mock-up, build a whole website around it. And as each person buys, it goes to a printing on demand company, literally print on demand. When the customer demands it, it goes into that company. They create the product and ship it directly to the customer. It's very similar to drop shipping, but only this time the design is not some generic mass produced factory product. It's a design you have created. They're just doing the printing for you. Wholesaling. This is when you sell in bulk to retailers. Most people who do a product based business are utilizing the wholesaling model, right? You work with the manufacturer, you create 10,000 units, and then you sell that in bulk to, I can think of my industry, for example. In the cosmetic industry, we bulk sell certain products to spas. For example, we will create the product, we will package it. The spa professionals can buy like 400, 500 units at the time. They will add their labels to it, and that becomes a wholesaling product. So all of these different business models within this broader category are highly valuable. You just need to figure out which one works for you. And also keep in mind, you can start with one and end with another. That's perfectly fine. We are all about refining, restructuring, right? Learning as you go and only getting better and improving. The fourth thing, this is the not so fun stuff. You need to set up a legal entity, right? You want to protect yourself and operate professionally. So you will need to register your business as an LLC, sole proprietor. I am not a legal person, but you have various options on how you would structure your business. You need to get a business bank account. You need to get the necessary permits, licensing, secure trademarks, patents, all of the things that are applicable for your particular product, right? And I think this is where you really begin to see the intricacy of a product based business, right? Because it really does require you from the get go to set yourself up as a business and an entity in a way that a service or a media based business may not be required until further down the line, okay? And I think that it's also important for me to make sure that there's a distinction, right? Not all physical based businesses are created equal. If you are a crafty person creating some craft goods that you're selling every weekend at trade shows, it's very different from the person who's like, hey, I am putting in $200,000 to manufacture a product with the manufacturing company, right? And then I'm going to try to go pitch it at Target, Sephora, Sprouts, Whole Foods, Amazon, Walmart. It's like that is a very different type of business. And I also hope that we're conceptualizing that, right? When it comes to a physical type business, there are different levels to it. And most likely for you women in corporate America who are building this, you would have to know from the get go which level do you want to jump yourself into. And in my opinion, if you want to go into the I'm putting in $200,000, $300,000 into this is why working a corporate job really matters. Let's say for 5 years you save your bonus each year. You were listening to Nandy, you got a great degree, you climbed up that ladder as quickly as possible, and you bring in bonuses from $10,000 to $20,000 a year. After 5 years of savings, you could end up with anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 if you are being super frugal with your money, and then you put that in a real product based business. In about 5 to 10 years, that $150,000 investment could become millions. Millions. It's going to take work from you, but it's a worthy investment. The fifth step you are going to take here is to create a brand and an online presence. Gone are the days where you could just be at home, locally go sell things door to door. Today, we have to create an online presence. Your brand is what will set you apart in the market. So you need to focus on creating a memorable name and very memorable and interesting logo aesthetic, and have consistent branding in colors, in font, in messaging across the board, so that every time somebody sees your branding, your logo, your designs, they know, that's so and so. I think that's them. Like now, we don't even have to think about it. We see certain brands, we know exactly what they are. Even if you're like me and you barely have 20/20 vision, you're like, oh, that's Coca-Cola. Right? We're talking about 100 years of conditioning us to know their brand, to fall in love with their brand. You will need a website with a strong user experience. That's going to be very important, because when you're selling a product based business, you need to give them an interesting way to experience your product online. And may I say, you also need to be active on social media. There's no way around it. I think for a very long time, I was staying away from social media. And then I realized, oh, honey, that's a missed opportunity, because people who are social media savvy are literally making thousands of dollars a day. I was watching YouTube, and there is a Twitch person. I don't know what the term is, but they live stream video games. And this guy talked about how in one day he makes $20,000 playing video game on some Twitcher. I was like, talk to Auntie Nanny. What the heck? Yo, I mean, I was like, what am I doing with my life? $20,000 in one day. Twitchering, playing video games on the Twitcher. Anyhow, let's come back to the issue at hand. The sixth step you'll be taking is to launch and market your business, right? So you've created your product, you've pre-tested it online on social media, doing polls, great reception. You went to manufacturing, you manufactured your product, or you ordered it from the supplier. You created your business entity, you started marketing it on social media. Now it's time for you to launch and really market that business, right? You have the product, now you're really pushing it. You're doing your launch parties and all of that. Once your product is ready, it's time to start selling it, right? Um, this is somewhere else where, unfortunately, you will have to put in some money. At the beginning, you could be doing some of these things yourself, but it's ideal if you use influencers, right? Do some affiliate marketing, partner with some macro influencers like myself. Small macro influencers are really the best way to win, because they can promote your product in a way that is not super expensive. If let's say you created a digital product, right, or a tech product, right? Let's say your specific tech product can, I don't know, a camera that can take pictures through walls or something. If you went to Marcus Bromley, I think that's his name, with like 20 million followers, how much you think you're gonna pay for that? You got the money? Okay. But if you go to somebody who has like 5 or 10,000 loyal subscribers, you can start to gain some traction, because they would most likely not ask you for like $150,000 for 5 seconds mention. right? It's probably going to be like, hey, give me $500 and I'll do a whole video review for that. So macro influencers is where you would win when you're smaller and you're just building your business. But you yourself should also learn how to be your own influencer. Are you creating content, sharing educational or entertainment content that relates to your product? This is why I'm a big believer in building a media based business first before we move into service or product. Do you have an email marketing list? You need to be building an email list to engage potential buyers. And whether or not you want to, you need paid advertising. So you need to be running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, because this will drive traffic through your website, which will lead into more sales. The last step you will be doing here is to really, actually, I want you to start thinking about this early. But at this point, once you've started making some money, I want you to start thinking about scaling the business, automating it for long term growth. Scaling means increasing revenue without directly increasing your time or your workload. You want to automate operations. You want to expand your product. So, introducing complementary products that would increase the customer's lifetime value. For example, you created product X. How do we create product B that will go with product X so that the same customers are coming back to buy this? I also want you to start thinking about wholesaling. Can you leverage wholesaling and retail partnerships? Yes, this is hard, and this is why I'm mentioning this last, because this should be done once you've already built a reputation and you've already come to a place where you're known, you're respected, you have some brand identity. Now, because retail companies, before they give you shelf space, they want to know that you can actually sell this product, because they won't give you shelf space so that the product can just sit there collecting dust. They are very intentional in only selecting people who have already done the work to build brand recognition. Outsourcing tasks. Every video I mention this because your girlie, I'm big on outsourcing, darling. I'm big on outsourcing. I've been outsourcing work since I was like in my early 20s, barely making $17 an hour. I was making $17 an hour and paying a cleaning lady $15 an hour to come clean my apartment. Yes, that is the kind of woman I am. I'm really big on where can I have the biggest impact in my life. That's where I'm going to put my time. And honey, sweeping, mopping, and doing laundry, nope, that is not for me. In building a product based business, it's really important that you realize that selling a product alone is not enough. You have got to build a community. You need to create a loyal customer base for strong brand storytelling and engagement. Because once you have built that community of people who love your products, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. This is why the hybrid model is the best model, right? So think about building a media based business first, you're building that community, and then introducing your product business. Now you already have a base that's buying your product. And by people buying your product, you're even getting more people coming into your media business. So now people are flowing between both businesses. That to me is really how you truly win. Before we close out this video, there are two more things that I want you to talk about, so bear with me. Let's talk about how to effectively scale a product based business. Scaling a product based business really requires strategy and systems to ensure that sustainable growth, right? And I'm going to quickly share with you a few factors to consider. You need to leverage technology, right? Automation is going to be critical. So you have got to be very good at leveraging technology so that you're tracking your inventory effectively and you have a very strong email marketing and customer support. I need you to optimize pricing and profit margin. So you need to be regularly reviewing practice to ensure profitability. This is one of those businesses, although the potential of you making a lot of money is there, but my God, the potential of you bleeding cash is also very high. So you really need to be optimizing your pricing and profit margins. You need to build a reliable team. You need to learn how to delegate tasks and employ the right people and partner with the right contractors. I need you to expand your market reach. You need to consider international expansion if possible. I know now we're talking the big leagues, the big dogs, right? But I think this is also why earlier I was saying, which market do you want to play in? Right? Because the product based business can be something as small as I created some crafts in my backyard and I'm going to go sell it at the farmer's market, to I invested $3 million to create this unique product that I'm going to sell all over the world. Okay. Increasing customer retention. My gosh, loyalty in this thing is really important. You need to monitor financial metrics. You need to keep track of cash flow and profit margins and all of your business expenses. You cannot sleep on your money. You need to be making sure that you have very clear financial metrics that you're tracking. And I promise you, the tracking needs to be done on a weekly basis. Actually, do it on a daily basis. Because I promise you, if you are not checking your money every single day, at the most every single week, your business will get away from you very quickly, right? So those are the things that you will need to do to really scale up this business into the big dogs. But now, let me give you a reality check before we go. This particular business model is very difficult to get into, to succeed in, because it does require a lot of expertise. It also requires a lot of capital in order for you to get it going. The upsides are high, but making it through this business is very difficult. I'm in a product-based business in my full-time job, and let me tell you something, I see firsthand the challenges that comes from building this business. If you are going to build a product-based business or any business at all, my suggestion is to really start with the media business first. Start really knowing who your audience is. Connect with them. Build that intimacy and then move on to a product-based business. If this video gave you clarity, don't keep it to yourself. Please share it with another powerhouse woman who needs this knowledge. And if you're ready to take financial security seriously, I share videos on a weekly basis, videos about career, business, finance, everything that you need to learn to leverage your career so that you can build long-term wealth. Please subscribe to my channel so that I can continue to bring you more great content. And join our community so that we can learn. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video where I will be talking to you guys about my favorite business type. That is the service-based business. Have a great one, and I'll see you soon.